Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex. Apologies for the extremely late video and also for not having a video camera. I forgot to bring my webcam with me on vacation, and yeah, I am on vacation now, so that is why the video is so delayed. I had a tough time getting through security and getting through the airport to my hotel. But anyways, let's check out give you my first impressions essentially of both Gamora and Groot's uniforms. This is a very small mid-month update, but it does come with the hope asterisk of not having a uniform collection. So yes, you can still opine and really, you know, hope and pray and watch the stars for possibly Adam Warlock tier 4, possibly Cosmo, possibly High Evolutionary, possibly Drax. Outside of those characters, maybe a Kraglin, but yeah, this dual uniform update is not really going to tide us over. It's going to obviously get boring pretty fast, but thankfully they've done a pretty solid job, in my opinion, with both Gamora and both Gamora and Groot. Aesthetically, in terms of the way that the uniforms look, they're very, very good. Especially Gamora, I think this is pulled right out of the movie. As a side note, there are spoilers for the movie and I guess for the trailers if you haven't seen them. A lot of the skills are lifted straight out of those moments, which is really nice. But for some people who haven't seen the movie, it might be a bit of a bother to them. We'll talk about the skills in just a second. Let's just go over the uniform options. So for Groot, we got Kingo, Hyperion, Maya Lopez, Echo, Nebula, which is pretty funny, and then She-Hulk. Pretty bad uniform options overall. All female besides Kingo. Well, actually not all female. Anyways, just pretty bad overall, right? Multiple paywall characters and not too many good uniforms. Some old ones as well, like Endgame is pretty old. For Gamora, on the other hand, besides Groot, I think her uniform options are a little bit better. You have Jessica Jones Jewel, which is kind of old, but then you also get Emma Frost, which is nice. Blade is okay. Loki is still pretty good, and then Hela is still her best option. So decent optionals, I would say. Nothing to get too excited about, but the skills is where things really shine. So let's jump into them and check them out here. So yeah, Gamora gets a massive upgrade just top to bottom. She does get 5 new skills, but they are going to feel very similar because there's just a lot of slashing and diving sort of things happening. That's just kind of how it is for Gamora. So the 1 and the 2 look pretty straightforward. The 3 and the 4 is where it gets a little bit spicier. The 3, she throws out these blades and then she slams down. So that's a nice delay cancel where you can cancel that and you can see the blades still keep going. And then with the 4, she throws out grenades and then she goes in. Now, as cool as this looks, and it does look really cool, you also want to delay cancel on the 4 after the grenades into 5, because 5 is really the big money maker in terms of damage, and it's actually basically just a reskin of her old 5th skill. So she didn't actually get a new 5th skill, but she did get like a new 3rd and 4th and 2nd skills, so I can kind of forgive that. As far as the rotation goes for Gamora, the practice combo is very accurate, but you're basically going to do a 3 delay cancel, 4 delay cancel, 5. It's going to take a little bit of practice. It's not a very long delay, but yeah, it will take a little bit of practice to get down because if you cancel right away, you're not going to get quite as many hits, and more hits is better for Gamora because you get more of that juicy chain hit damage. And then just remember that for her awakening skill, you can always instant cancel it, so you probably want to do 6 instant cancel, 3 delay, 4 delay into 5, because 6 has a really long windup where Drax and the Milano just take time to wind up, so you can absolutely... That's not the rotation I wanted to do. Let me reset that real quick. So yeah, you can absolutely... There's a Groot that looks so funny. That was hilarious, baby Groot just diving in there. But yeah, you can absolutely do a 6, 3, 4, and as you can see, the hits don't really start until 5, so that it really lines up well for Gamora. One thing, despite the fact that I think the devs have been really lazy lately with giving new effects and really balancing characters properly in terms of giving them PvP abilities. On the other hand, I have to say that the skill combos have been very satisfying lately for characters and also very easy to pick up. All of these characters lately have been very, very easy to play. We haven't gotten any complex, frustrating characters to play. Groot, on the other hand, is exactly the same as Gamora, so it's just more of the same, also very easy to play, also basically the same rotation, 3, 4, 5. It's just that you can instant cancel 4, but you still have a bit of a delay on 3. So besides that small change with no delay on 4, it's exactly the same rotation. So you're just going to wait for him to slam down on 3, and then cancel into 4, and then immediately go into 5. Now, Groot has some of the most gorgeous animations we've seen. in a while, and they are very thematic to the movie. So we have a fourth skill where he pulls out his extra arms and he goes ham on all of the scientists in the high evolutionary, chamber, whatever you want to call it, midway through the movie. And then we also have the scene right after that where they escape, where he grows wings. Super duper cool. But yeah, like I said, it is a spoiler for people who didn't want that. I actually love his sixth skill. It's too bad that we're going to cancel it instantly to get the most damage out of it, so you're not actually going to see the I am Groot appear twice. I actually love this aesthetically, and I might just play him in a way that I don't cancel 6, but ideally, because you can instant cancel 6, the rotation looks something like this. You got 3, delay, cancel 4, cancel 5. That is going to be your intro rotation. And then once you're done with that, you're going to do 3, delayed, cancel 4. I did it wrong. 3, delayed, 4, cancel 6, cancel 5. You don't want to end with 6. You want to always end with 5. So let me try that one more time. You can do 3. You can do 3, 6, 5, 4 as well. 3, 6, 5, 4 is probably easier to do. So that's the one that I would stick to. Alternatively, I think you could possibly do, if it's charged up, you could do 6, 3, 4, 5. Yep, you could even do 6, 3, 4, 5 because there's such a long delay on 6. So really nice, very well-timed delays on these skills allow you to have a lot of flexibility, which allows both of these characters to be very proc-friendly, and also that they play very similarly in terms of which skills, like, it's always the same numerical combo where it's 3, 4, 5 for these characters, 3, 4, 5 for them, or in other cases like Star-Lord, it's 3. I think it's 3, 5, 4. But anywho, it ends up being very, very similar. So that is actually about it for my first impressions of these uniforms. I haven't really had much time at all to play with them because I am on vacation, but I did rank them up and I did take a look at their skills, and I am impressed with how it looks aesthetically. I have heard. So to give you guys a bit of information from what I've gathered from other people messaging me, people are very happy with Gamora. High damage and high survivability, so that is a really nice 1-2 punch. Whether she's valuable enough for you at level 80 without needing tier 4, that's really going to be the question that's asked. I'm at 25%. I think I'm going to wait to try to get her naturally to 80 without having to, use a ticket. As for Groot, although his animations are really beautiful and very thematic to the movie, which is great, I think that just being a combat tier 3 hero is not really enough. I mean, obviously he can't compete with tier 4s, right? Dr. Octopus, Namor, Venom, Moon Knight, Captain America. There's just so many tier 4s. On top of that, his passives are just not that good. Like they're not bad, but they're just not that good. And in the case of like a Guardians of the Galaxy PvP team, if that were ever going to be a thing, I find it very difficult to believe that Groot would be part of that team, because the boss damage, the best part of his tier 2 passive is the boss damage, and that's a PvE ability. So yeah, you can use him on certain stages as a support to support the Guardians, and you can see there that he's listed as a support as well as being listed as a dealer. I think you can have a lot of fun with him as a damage dealer, but again, he cannot compete with the damage dealers in the tier 4 category, right? The level 80 category alone. There's that. And then for other PvE content, like the other example is, there's no restrictions for Guardians of the Galaxy, right? So this ability doesn't have any restrictions that force you to use the Guardians. And then the only thing that they really have in common is either being male, for most of them, obviously not Gamora, or being aliens. Alien is really the only tag that they all have in common. Besides that, you have 3 different typings. You have Blast, Combat, and Speed. So they're going to struggle in that sense. You also have male and female. They're going to struggle in that sense because they're not going to match up. They are all also heroes, so that is a nice touch. But again, even for example, pairing Groot and Rocket together, which you think would be an amazing strategy, doesn't actually work because Rocket's passive applies energy attack, where Groot doesn't even deal energy. Well, he might deal energy damage, but he actually doesn't deal energy damage. It doesn't matter though, because he scales his damage off of physical attack. So it's still kind of disappointing. I feel like they really didn't go far enough with the Guardians of the Galaxy buffs and the Guardians of the Galaxy synergy. Like there is clearly an attempt to be synergistic. It's just that they got about 60% of the way, but being 40% missing is a lot. I think at the very least what they need to do is change Rocket's passive. I know this video is about Gamora and Groot, and I'll get to Groot in a second, but I think at the very least they need to change Rocket's passive to be all attack, not energy attack, because it doesn't apply to Gamora, it doesn't apply to Nebula, it doesn't apply to Groot, which is crazy. And if they give Drax a uniform, it won't apply to Drax. It won't apply to half the Guardians, which is madness. And then secondly, they need to buff Groot's, the PvP side of Groot's passive. So they could either increase the heal, they could decrease the cooldown of the heal, or they could add in like a guard break immunity, maybe a cleanse to this bloom passive as well. I think if they add those two things, then Groot is absolutely the linchpin, or he becomes the linchpin of a Guardians team. I honestly would really have loved to see them make Groot into Sunbird. I know this is a bit out on a limb, so call me crazy, whatever, but if they had given Sunbird's passive where he revives the Warriors of the Sky, right, the Ashen Rebirth, if they had given this ability to Groot where he revives the Guardians of the Galaxy, now you're talking about a potentially very spicy PvP team, right? That could be very, very interesting because you have a tier 4 Gamora reviving, you have a tier 4 Star-Lord reviving, you have some really nice stuff. And especially for Gamora being a tier 4, or being a Transcended, I should say, reviving means she's going to pop off with Dance of Death right away. So I think they had a really good opportunity to do something nice. I still think they can, because as we talked about at the beginning of the video, the chances of there being a part 3 to this update are very, very high. So, you know, the part 3 could absolutely be, hey, you know what? We fucked up on Groot and Rocket and we want to buff them. So let's buff them. You know, we'll have to wait and see. But for now, I think Gamora and Groot, very fun to play. Is the excitement of them going to wear off in a week? Absolutely. So buckle up for, you know, some more top 10 content. Anyways, hit me up in the comments down below. Let me know what you think. Apologies if the voice sounds weird as well. I'm using my microphone kind of roughshod. I'm going to be coming out with a dedicated Gamora review tomorrow, and then Groot after that, so keep it locked on the channel for those. Those videos will not be late. I apologize for this one being late, but yeah, it's just unavoidable. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for keeping with the channel. Smash the like button. It helps us out, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.